Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, one of 5 graded stakes races at Belmont Park on Stars and Stripes Saturday is the Grade 1 $1 million Belmont Oaks Invitational for 3-year-old fillies at 1.25 miles on the inner turf. Let's take a look at this field. Chad Brown, surprise, surprise, he's got 4.
Yeah, if there's a Grade 1 race on turf, Chad's going to have at least 1, if not 5. He has 4 in here this time around. And you know what? This may be one of the rare instances where all 4 of them have a big, big chance.
He's got the best foreign import, the 12 Sister Charlie. He's got the best local hope, the number 8 New Money Honey. Let's start with the 12 Sister Charlie. Group 3 winner in France, and last time out in the French Oaks going 1 mile 5/16. She was sort of bottled up a little bit in mid-stretch. I don't think she would have won with a clear trip, but once she got clear, she was really rolling late. It was a very visually impressive performance.
She absolutely rolled when she finally got out into the clear. Now, I don't think the trip was as disastrous as some people are making it out to be. You had a horse that went down in that spot, but that really wasn't what caused this horse the trouble. She was down, just in behind horses, and took a little while for her to get out. I think that's just part of turf racing. It happens from time to time. I thought she was awesome. And having said all that, I just don't know that I want her at. When it seems like there's a chance that she's going to go off at like 6-5, and to me, that seems a little bit silly on basically a 2-week turnaround. First time for a new outfit. I respect her. I picked her second. I just don't want to bet her.
How much does this post position worry you?
Nah, not at all. I mean, I know Chad said it's a concern, and I mean, I understand you don't want to be hung wide, but look, she's going to come from the back of the pack anyway. You're going to take back. John's going to break, angle over. If she's 3-path going into the first turn, I think that's fine.
New Money Honey, last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf winner, started her season off a little bit of a dud in the Grade 3 Appalachian Stakes. She just didn't fire that day, but she got back on the beam most recently at Belmont in the local prep for the Belmont Oaks, the Grade 3 Wonder Again Stakes, where she took advantage of no pace whatsoever. Javier gave her a great ride, went right to the front and controlled it. I doubt she's going to make the lead here, but it's nice to know that that versatility's in her hip pocket.
Yeah, especially in a race like this where I'm not entirely sure how much pace there's going to be. You've got one confirmed front runner, but after that, you got a couple that have got tactical speed. I think she could easily work out that kind of trip again. There's still a part of me that just, I want her to prove to me that when she got to overcome some things, because that Keeneland race was terrible. I mean, she never picked her feet up. I want her to prove that she's back to the 2-year-old form.
Ground shouldn't be an issue for New Money Honey. Remember, she won the Miss Griot at Belmont last year over yielding going. That is if the rains come. Let's talk about Coasted for Leah Jarmati. We'll get back to the Chad horses in a bit. This horse started her career like she could be any kind. Good second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf. I thought she had a trip in the Here Comes the Bride. I thought that was a good, solid effort. But her last 2 have been a bit disappointing, although in the Wonder Again, pace and trip worked against her.
Yeah, I don't want to hold that against her. She was also wide and she made a move up the backside, but there's a part of me also that looks at it, and you brought up the weather. If the weather does come, she seems like a filly that needs firm going to really do her best, and even having said that, I don't know that her best is good enough to win this.
Is Dynatail, the number 9, the most likely pace setter of the race? She went basically gate to wire last time out in a good solid performance in the Penn Oaks going 1 mile. Louis Saez gave her a beautiful breather down the backstretch, and she had more than enough to beat that weaker field in the lane. Stretching out to 1.25 miles is a big ask.
I'll be stunned if she's not on the lead. If she's not, something must have gone wrong or she missed the break. I will say, she is stubborn. When she gets out there, she is not the easiest horse to pass. When other horses roll up on her, she may not win all the time, but she's going to dig in. I think she could stick around for a piece.
Kenny McPeak has traded the 11 Daddy's Little Darling like a nice horse since day 1, and why not? She's a Grade 2 stakes winner on dirt. She's multiple Grade 1 place. She's coming in off a second-place effort in the Kentucky Oaks, but they wanted to run her in Royal Ascot, and it was just a disastrous trip.
Yeah, dumped the rider, took off, and that was it. You took a plane ride over to England and then had to come all the way back. It was just one of those things that one thing led to another and it didn't work. I think now you're going to find out if she's quite as good as maybe they have thought she was. And I have no real reason to think otherwise because we haven't seen her on turf really against the best. I'm not including the Florida Oaks because that was basically just a starting off point for her. I won't be surprised if she can run with these.
European entrants always dangerous in these kind of races. Aidan O'Brien is the 5. Key to My Heart, getting Lasix off a win in a stakes race in Ireland over soft ground. If it rains, this horse could move forward Lovely pedigree.
Lovely pedigree, but she just looks a little bit slow to me, all things considered. She hasn't been keeping fantastic company over there. If she wins, I'll lose.
Grizzle is 2 for 2 over a synthetic surface. She took the grade 3 Celine last time out at Woodbine. She deserves an opportunity in this race. I'm terrified of the distance.
I'm also just of the opinion that she's better on the synthetic than she is on the turf.
Journey home a little bit slow, but came from off a moderate pace to win the Christiane at Delaware on June the 14th. This horse started her career like she was going to be something, then went through a couple of disappointing performances. Last time out got her back on the beam, but she still has to improve from a fig standpoint.
I don't know what to do with her. She may be one that just fooled me because I thought her first 2 starts were awesome, and then all of a sudden she just didn't really move on as a 3-year-old. Maybe that most recent start at Delaware turns her around.
Chad has 55 in here, coming off a second-place finish in the Wonder again. Thought Jose Ortiz gave her a really nice trip, the second best trip in the race, behind New Money Honey, who had the best trip controlling slow fractions.
Another one that was pace compromised. She ideally likes to be taken back, make that one run. I've liked her for quite some time. I think this is really what she wants. I don't know about the distance, but I really think you take her back, make that one run.
Let's see what the Timeform US Pace Projector has in store after we cycle through the field yet again for the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks. We see that Hightail at number 9 is going to be on the lead. New Money Honey sitting second. Do you see that situation playing out? Do you think Chad wants New Money Honey that close?
I don't know that that would be ideal, but I have to be honest. If that's the way it plays out, I don't think he's going to be too disappointed, considering she's shown that she has that little bit of versatility and she can go on with it.
Now let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks. Violet Blue, the 3 is 30 to 1 for a good trainer in Jimmy Toner. She seems a little bit overmatched at this point, but you've always been a big fan of the number 2, Beau Recall. Done nothing wrong except face the best 3-year-old filly in Southern California in her last 3 races, that being Sir Cat Sally. This filly kicks very strongly late.
I had been hoping that this was going to be on the table and in the cards for these connections for this filly because she really finishes races off. Now, I understand she looks like she maybe doesn't want to finish the deal. Sir Cat Sally is a really talented filly. I also think the additional distance, 1.25 miles, this is right in her wheelhouse. I know it's a relatively quick turnaround, but this is loyalty right here. I've been all over, I've bet her, I've lost multiple times on her. I'm hopeful she can turn the tables.
The 7 Uni's a sort of a high-risk, high-reward play for Chad because she's taking a big step up in class. She won a stakes race in France last time out, but that was kind of a weak field. The runner-up, Franz Schubert, was 2 to 5, came back, was 2 to 5 in a listed stakes, and got beat and was off the board in the next start. It wasn't a strong field, but I really liked the way that Uni finished that race. She pressed the pace early, took over control in the middle part, and then sprinted clear late. She doesn't have the speed of a Dynatail, but I wonder if Irad Ortiz is going to have her in the spot that Timeform US has reserved for New Money Honey. Perhaps sitting second. Maybe Uni takes the lead, turning into the lane. Again, sort of a high-risk, high-reward play because she's taking a big step up in class off a little bit of a laugh. But unlike Sister Charlie, Chad's had this horse and has been able to tinker for a month.
Yeah, and she's getting Lasix for the first time. He knows what he's got here. And I also think, too, if you just look at the morning line, I don't think you're going to get 6. I think you go higher than that. I think she's in that 10, 11, 12 to 1 range. So, look, you could do much worse than take a European coming over here in the best turf trainer that we've got in the United States. And you're going to get a good number with a nice jockey as well with Irad Ortiz. So I have no problem with Uni in here.
15 to 1 on Matt's top selection. The 2, Beau Recall. 2, 12, 8, and 9. I'm going to go with the 7, Uni. 7, 12, 2, and 9, with most of my weight coming on the Chad Foreign Invaders. Uni the 7, and the 12, Sister Charlie. Approximate post time for the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks, race number 8 on Saturday, 5:46 Eastern. Good luck.